The temple of sound, voice, alchemy, boundaries, and purpose. Quantum opening. Sound travels through your bones like ancient light remembering its first dawn. The breath that enters your body arranges invisible architecture. The voice that leaves your body carves corridors in the world. Each syllable you release becomes a bridge between inner truth and shared reality. Your mouth becomes a gate, your chest a cathedral, your spine a resonant column that turns intention into shape. Every tone you choose is a vote for the future you are building. Every silence you honor is fertile ground where wisdom grows roots. Dadatelaroi, deep gaze. Archetypes of the living voice. Within your chest resides a choir of archetypes that guide the ethical and luminous use of sound. The keeper of thresholds stands at the border between impulse and speech. This guardian blesses the word that serves life and dissolves the word that would fracture trust. The singer of bones, Hyo, knows that resonance begins in the skeleton. This archetype teaches embodied tone, the kind of voice that calms rooms and anchors agreements. The weaver of bridges understands that language is connective tissue. This weaver braids clarity with compassion until communication becomes medicine. The sky scribe listens for patterns in conversations and writes new constellations across relationships, turning miscommunication into choreography. These figures awaken when you treat voice as sacred technology. You stop using volume as force and begin using coherence as power. You stop using words as weapons and begin using them as instruments tuned to integrity. The path of voice alchemy rests on three pillars that move as one body: presence, precision, and purpose. Presence regulates the nervous system so that truth can pass without distortion. Precision chooses the right tone for the right time. Purpose directs sound toward creation rather than reaction. The temple of sound is not a place outside you. It is the clear interior where breath, meaning, and vibration bow to one another. When you speak from this temple, boundaries become elegant, creativity becomes inevitable, and silence becomes a respected master. 2. Foundations: transpersonal, humanistic, and neuroscience of voice. Transpersonal psychology views voice as a channel through which larger fields of meaning flow. Identity widens to include the collective, the earth, and the invisible patterns that accompany all living systems. Sound carries symbol, symbol carries transformation. When you vocalize a value with embodied breath, you install that value somatically and socially. Humanistic psychology orients communication toward authenticity, empathy, and congruence. Unconditional positive regard becomes the climate in which honesty can breathe. The person who feels safe enough to name a boundary is the person most able to remain in loving relationship. When tone and content match, trust accumulates. When congruence is missing, the body of the listener reads danger before the mind forms conclusions. Neuroscience clarifies the craft. Neuroplasticity shows that repeated patterns of breath and tone carve new neural pathways. Your voice trains your brain. Polyvagal theory reveals how prosodic vocalization cues safety through the vagus nerve. Warm, melodic cadence downshifts the autonomic system into social engagement. Interoception refines inner listening. You perceive subtle shifts in chest pressure, diaphragm movement, and throat tension, allowing early course correction. Entrainment explains how rhythms synchronize. Consistent, coherent speech can entrain a room into steadier breathing and slower heart rate. Practical synthesis. Presence calms physiology. Precision selects language that fits reality. Purpose aligns speech with values and long-term vision. When breath, prosody, and meaning align, the default mode network yields to a collaborative network. Arguments lose entertainment value. Solutions become satisfying. Donatros 3. Biodecoding, the field of voice. The body writes subtitles. The body translates emotional truth into sensation and symptom. Listening with compassion reveals a map from discomfort to mastery. Throat tightness, recurrent hoarseness, or globus sensation. Core theme: interrupted declaration, fear of consequence for truth. Liberation route: hum softly on an M or NG vowel while touching the sternum. Then speak one concise sentence of truth daily and end with a slow exhale through pursed lips. Pair with warm water rituals to signal safety to tissue. Jaw clenching and tongue tension. Core theme: contained anger, self censorship, performance fatigue. Liberation route: micromassage along masseter and temporalis, yawns with vocal sigh, tongue circles that trace the palate. After release, install a sentence of permission, such as I am safe to speak with calm power. Chest pressure and shallow breath. Core theme: armored tenderness, grief without witness. Liberation route: 3 rounds of 4 in, 6 out breathing, hands on heart, followed by low volume toning that vibrates the sternum. Add a sentence of self contact, such as, my heart remains present while I set clear limits. Thyroid imbalance patterns under stress. Core theme: speed without consent, responsibility without voice. Liberation route: slow neck rotations while humming. 5-minute daily pause, where the only task is to feel the flow of breath at the base of the throat and write one boundary sentence for a real situation. Ear irritation or sensitivity to noise. Core theme: overload from incoherent environments. Liberation route: sound diet for 24 hours, gentle exposure to natural sounds, and crafting a personal resonance playlist of voices and tones that nourish. Afterward, state I curate the sounds that shape my nervous system. Stomach knots before communication. Core theme: fear of backlash or rejection. Liberation route: vagal rinse with cold splash on cheeks, 3 slow breaths, then rehearsal of the key sentence in a warm tone. Seal with a micro behavior like sending the message or scheduling the conversation. Symptoms: stop shouting when they feel heard. Meaning updates the nervous system. New experience stabilizes the update. Notice Core 4. Quantum NLP. Protocols for voice, boundaries, and creative speech. Each sequence follows the arc. State: representation. Meaning: anchor. Behavior. Repetition installs mastery. DSL 1. The lantern resonance anchor. Aim: retrieve grounded luminosity within 60 seconds. 1. Right palm on heart, left palm on low belly. 2. Breathe 4 in, 6 out for 5 cycles. 3. Imagine a gold lantern behind the sternum. With each exhale, the lantern brightens and the voice corridor clears. 4. Press thumb and ring finger together and say, I speak from still light. 5. Use this anchor before calls, negotiations, or creative sessions. Dakiralos 2. Clean boundary sentence. Formula. Aim: express limits without aggression or ambiguity. Structure: name the value, limit the behavior, offer a path forward. Example: respect is essential. I will not continue while voices overlap. I can resume at 4 p.m. or tomorrow morning. Practice with low volume and slow cadence. The formula builds a bridge rather than a wall. Darawarix 3. Timeline revoice. Aim: deinstall inherited silence and install permission. 1. Stand and picture a horizontal line of your life. 2. Place a hand on the throat and step toward a younger you who swallowed words. 3. Offer 3 gifts titled safety, clarity, and timing. 4. Merge and hum together until the shared chest vibrates. 5. Step into a near future scene where a boundary is expressed with ease. 6. Seal with the phrase, my lineage honors my voice, and my voice honors my lineage. 4. Swish of tones. Aim: replace a harsh inner narrator with a benevolent conductor. 1. Hear the critical tone as a small radio far away. 2. Hear the benevolent tone as a warm human beside you. 3. Inhale and let the warm tone swell while the radio shrinks to a dot and fades. 4. Snap the lantern anchor and speak your next action aloud in the benevolent tone. 5. Repeat 5 times. Yadarirust kunto. 5. Values to behavior. Bridge for speech. Aim: turn values into daily sound signatures. 1. Choose 3 values such as clarity, kindness, reciprocity. 2. Assign each value a micro behavior under 15 minutes. Clarity: rehearse 1 sentence before a meeting. Kindness: add 1 gratitude sentence in each email. Reciprocity: invite feedback and reflect it back. Third track completion for 7 days. Clap once and state, value witnessed, value stabilized. 6. The 2-chair resonance repair. M. Transform conflict while preserving dignity. 1. Place 2 chairs facing. Sit in chair A and speak your truth with hand on heart. 2. Move to chair B and mirror back the essence you heard while breathing slowly. 3. Return to chair A and voice one concrete request. 4. End by standing and humming together for 30 seconds if the other person participates, or by humming alone to complete the cycle if they do not. Dabase V. Spiritual perspective, Logos, Sunyata, and the choir of worlds. Christ consciousness arrives as the living Logos, the luminous word that orders chaos without violence. This field invites a tone that carries mercy and clarity in equal measure. Love becomes the tuning fork. Boundaries become the resonant chamber where love retains shape. Forgiveness re-architects the room so that harm does not masquerade as normal. Buddhist Sunyata names the spaciousness in which all sounds arise. Emptiness is full of possibility. In this sky, your voice is a cloud that forms and dissolves without clinging. When Logos and Sunyata meet, speech becomes both precise and lightly held, powerful without rigidity. Kabbalah speaks of light pouring through vessels. Words are vessels that must grow to carry radiance. Sufi remembrance spins the heart until remembrance becomes service. Andianaini honors sacred reciprocity, a harmonic exchange that keeps communities in right relation. The star currents add their timbre. Pleiadian Kanda. Elegance refines language into simple beauty. The Arcturian coherence organizes ideas into crystalline grids. Andromedan play restores curiosity and innovation. Seraphic. Fire sinks courage into the diaphragm so truth can remain tender without becoming timid. All of these currents converge in one ocean called Me, one love, many voices. In that ocean, the holy becomes practical, kindness becomes a craft, presence becomes a craft, speech becomes a craft. Craft changes worlds while keeping power humble. Purdarades. 6. Integrative rituals, daily rites for sonic sovereignty. A. The three seal rite. Tools: a candle, a bowl of salted water, and your breath. 1. Light the candle and place both hands on your chest. 2. Whisper, I enter the temple of clear sound. 3. Touch the salted water to lips and brow. 4. Speak 3 sentences that will guide your day. 1 sentence of truth, 1 sentence of boundary, 1 sentence of blessing. 5. Seal the rite with 3 slow breaths and a soft hum on the exhale. B. The 7-string vow. Aim. Tune your week to coherent speech. 7 short vows for 7 days. 1. Calm. I let breath lead volume. 2. Clarity. I choose the simplest accurate words. 3. Kindness. I include 1 gesture of care in each exchange. 4. Courage. I state 1 boundary without apology. 5. Curiosity. I ask for perspective before I conclude meaning. 6. Congruence. I match tone to intention. 7. Completion. I end conversations with a clear next step or a blessing. Sing or speak the vow of the day each morning. Track in a small ledger at night. C. The workbench of silence. Aime. Restore signal to noise ratio. Set 1 15-minute window daily, where no words enter or exit. Breathe, hum, move slowly. Allow silence to clean the palate of the nervous system. Speak afterward as if crafting sculpture rather than pouring gravel. 7. Applied scenarios. Translation to life. Leadership and teams. A leader replaces meeting theatrics with the 3 seal rite. Boundary sentences reduce post-meeting confusion. Prosodic cadence steadies the room. Turnover drops because psychological safety becomes audible. Creative arts. A singer with jaw tension adopts the lantern resonance anchor and the workbench of silence. After 2 weeks, recording sessions open faster and recovery after criticism accelerates. The voice matures in color and range because tension stops stealing airflow. Relationships. Partners practice 2-chair resonance repair twice a week. Mirroring reduces escalation. Boundaries stated with low volume begin to land as care rather than punishment. Intimacy grows because truth and tenderness travel together. Entrepreneurship. A service provider revises sales calls using the clean boundary sentence formula for scope and timeline. Clients report feeling respected and clear. Revenue stabilizes because both yes and no become honorable sounds rather than nervous fumbles. 8. Mind power, language. and micro habits for lasting change. Language shapes attention, and attention shapes biology. Choose verbs that encode agency and dignity. Replace always or never with patterns and choices. Visualization becomes architecture when paired with tone and breath. See the conversation, feel the posture, hear the cadence, hum the closing word that signals completion. Affirmations imprint when they remain honest and are followed by behavior. Pair I speak with calm power with one phone call made from the lantern state. Micro habits compound like interest. 15 minutes of coherent practice daily becomes a vault of trust in your tissue. The body learns that your promises to self are real. Integrity becomes a nervous system trait rather than a mood. Ninth, ethics of the word, joyful boundaries and planetary service. Sovereignty without kindness freezes into isolation. Kindness without clarity dissolves into confusion. Clarity without purpose becomes vanity. When these three sing together, the word becomes trustworthy. Your voice ceases to be performance and becomes shelter. Your speech ceases to be transaction and becomes contribution. Planetary service begins in the acoustics of your home. Open a window so air can reset the room. Place a small bowl of water where sunlight can touch it. Thank your tools. Bless your devices. Treat your name as an instrument. Speak it with reverence so your original music enters the day. Sakana X, one ceremony of unshakable light. Tools: a candle, a small stone, a bowl of water, and your breath. 1. Candle at center, water to the left, stone to the right. 2. Touch the heart and declare, I welcome coherent sound. 3. Light the candle and watch its reflection on the water. 4. Hold the stone and name one habit that blocks your voice. 5. Bring the stone to the belly and exhale until the shoulders drop. 6. Place the stone beside the candle and say, Thank you for your service. I update the strategy. 7. Breathe onto the water 3 times and touch a drop to lips and throat. 8. Hum a low, comfortable tone for 30 seconds while imagining a gentle, golden spiral rising through the neck and skull. 9. Close with, My field stands clean, my words carry light. Repeat for 7 evenings. Small, consistent acts generate massive coherence. High vibration closing. Master phrase. The word becomes sanctuary when breath, meaning, and kindness move as one instrument. Quantum challenge for the next 24 hours. Select one real situation and deliver a clean boundary sentence with calm prosody and slow cadence. Record the result in a night ledger with 1 line of learning and 1 line of gratitude. Activation code RAELOMLUMENVERITAS. Speak it 3 times while touching sternum, throat, and brow. Let warmth spread through the cheeks and ears. Stand for 1 minute in silence and allow the silence to teach. Con amor, Andrew.